Hey guys, it's Ani. This video is going to be such a good video. I'm going to share with you evidence I've been seeing in my in my 3D reality that will help you. Like, I remember, so I've been thinking about, what I'm going to share in this video the last few days. And obviously, there's going to be I'm going to share a client success story too, but things that have, like, light bulb moments that have happened for me this past few days. I'll be sharing that with you, so stay tuned. So let's just get into it. So the other day, I'm talking to one of my clients on session, and we've been working together for a while now. And I remember when we first started, like almost every session, you guys, was um, filled with tears. She was very frustrated. Like her SP had broken up. They were together, they had broken up, and she was trying to manifest SP back. But then there was like a third party in the mix, and then even after she manifested a third party, like it was really difficult to even get his attention almost. Like it was very hard to communicate with him. Like he was very closed off. And I remember every session she was like, Ani, like I just don't get it. Like I'm I'm seeing bits and pieces of movement, but I'm not getting the movement I want as fast as I want it, right? And of course, there is a process of SP conforming and people conforming to your new story, right? So we worked on it together, and she would have some frustrating days. She would have days where she was like crying it all out, letting it all out, which is totally fine. I want you guys to understand that that is totally fine. Like, I never want you to think that you have to be perfect, and you cannot have a bump in the road. You can't have a reaction. Like, if anyone tells you that you can't manifest without those things, if anyone tells you the only way you can manifest is by feeling positive all the time and feeling it real all the time, they don't know what they're talking about, because you do not need to feel positive all the time and force yourself to feel excited about this. Like, thoughts are still creating no matter what. And if you've seen any of my videos, you've seen that thoughts create. Like, I wasn't feeling excited about everything I manifested, but it still came through. So now, the other day when I was on the one-on-one session with her, she showed me, she's like, Ani, look at the text message. So they've been talking a lot lately because she's been working on it. She's been doing that strict mental diet. Even though she wouldn't see evidence back then, she would still persist. She would have her days, but she would get back on track on her mental diet. She would affirm, she would persist, she would live in the end. She would do all the things we talk about, all the things Neville talks about, right? So now they are literally talking every single day. They are planning on, okay, I'll tell you. So they're planning on this beautiful, beautiful trip. I think it's going to be like a month and a half. That hasn't happened for them in years, okay? This type of trip. Number two, you should see the way he's texting her. Like, she showed me in our session. She was like, look at how she grabbed her phone and she was like, look, right? He was saying things like, do you know that you're the best thing that's ever happened to me? Like, you are the most beautiful woman I've ever met, and I can't believe I wasted so much time without you. And I was looking at it, I was like, girl, do you see how the change in here and internally changes the stuff out here? Like, do you see that? Like, it's just so funny. I would have told her to send me this screenshot or email it or something so I could show you, but obviously that's person's privacy. But um she's come a long way, and she's seeing a lot of movement. the way he's talking to her, the way he's approaching her. He wouldn't even ask her how she was back then. Like, she would be like, hey, how are you? She would text, and he wouldn't even ask it back, like, how are you? Because she had created that version. She had created that type of version, the one that doesn't really prioritize her. And I want to mention one thing, you guys. Not really under my videos, but I've noticed like, just in this community in general, like, I noticed still so many people commenting like very negative things happening in their life, almost like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like, oh, they're saying like, oh, um to the people in the videos, in the stories, they're like, you deserve better, move on, blah blah blah, like, don't waste your time on this type of stuff, like. And I get it, when you don't understand law of assumption, and when you're looking at it from like 3D point of view only, when you're not like awakened and you haven't seen your thoughts creating, you it sounds like wishful thinking. I get it, but um your real truth is your thoughts create your reality. Like, so those of you that like are keep going and keep persisting, even if you don't see evidence, good job. I give you props. You have to, because your desire desires you, and that is the real truth. The reason you even have a desire, you guys, is because that reality is waiting for you. And I know, I get it, sometimes it feels like wishful thinking. Like, I've felt that before too. I felt like, oh, like, like, I don't know, like, what if this never pushes out, right? Like, we've all been there. But the more and more you practice this, the more and more you see every single thought creates your reality. Like, that's why keep pushing through, keep persisting, just like my clients are doing, like, and they're getting success. Like, all these success stories people are sending in, all these success stories I'm sharing from my personal reality, all these coaches out there, like, that's proof. That's proof, So also, what I wanted to get into, you guys, is, remember, I don't know if you guys saw my video where my friend won $1.4 million on a slot machine. If you haven't, go check it out. But I wanna mention something here. So when you don't believe something, right? Or you don't even think of it. For example, I wouldn't think of people winning millions of dollars on slots, because at the time before she won it, before I saw it, for me, it felt like I had a block. Like, for me, like, I hadn't seen it. I hadn't seen evidence of it. I would never search it up. I would never, I would never think of it. I would just think, okay, a few thousand here and there, maybe 100,000. I've seen like 100,000 or 200,000, but I haven't seen like over 1 million, right? So when you're not focused on a possibility, you're not going to see evidence of it. But I noticed when I started focusing on that amount, she won her jackpot. And it was like my subconscious was trying to tell me, see, you focused on it. It's a possibility for sure. People can hit it. And I was like, okay, so after I focused on her hitting it, what would happen was, even like on YouTube, I started seeing people like that would play slot machines. They would be hitting $1 million jackpots, or the grand jackpot on the top would say 1,500,000, 1,400,000, 2 million. And I would think, oh my God, like, that wasn't there before. So like, the more I focus on it, it's maximizing in my 3D reality. Obviously, your attention brings in more of what you're focused on, right? So when my perspective changed, my evidence started changing too. And that goes for specific people as well, you guys. When you stop viewing them in the same old way you've been viewing them, as they're not going to choose you, they're not going to want you, they're not going to want you back, or whatever it is, even if it's just you thinking of relationships being hard, right? When you stop that and you shift your focus to, wouldn't it be wonderful, like, if this played out? Or wouldn't it be wonderful, like, if I just saw a amazing text from my SP, like, saying, I miss you? If you just shift your focus on a different possibility, a different thought, the more you focus on it, the more it has to maximize. Just like how when I would focus on a win, like in a jackpot, or money, even money, okay? When you focus on, like, wow, like, a lot, I see a lot, like, I just won a lot of money, or I'm bringing in a lot, right? When you focus on that, instead of, oh my God, no, but I need more, but I need more, instead of the lack mentality, you focus on the abundance already, or just the thought of, how amazing would it be? More starts coming in. Like, what happened with me is I just intended for a jackpot my first time, right? And then it finally happened because I had, like, let go of all other possibilities. I was just like, let's just see what happened, right? That's the first one I hit was the $12,000 one. If you haven't watched the video, go watch it. After that, after I was like, oh my God, like, I intended for this jackpot this morning and I got it. And I focused on it, like, oh my God, like, I've totally, like, not let this be a possibility for me in the past, right? So the more I would focus on wins, the more I would tell people, like, oh my God, I won, whatever, the more I would. And the more my subconscious would project out more, 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 more. Because it's like, that's what you're focused on. Like, that's what I got to give you because you're God of your reality, right? So if you're focused on not being chosen, or, like, let's say your SP is not contacting you, guess what has to happen? You're going to live more of those experiences because your brain is taking those commands seriously. Does this make sense, you guys? If it makes sense, comment down below. Okay. So last time when I talked about my friend winning the 1.4 million, the more I focused on it, now that's all I see. Like, that's literally all that's pushing out in my reality. So don't be surprised if I share $1 million win with you guys. I will definitely share. Like, I don't care. Definitely gonna take a video at the casino, and I'm gonna be like, you guys, look. Like, I'm gonna post it on our TikTok. Don't be surprised if that happens. Like, right now, like, it's totally like, in my mind, it's totally a possibility for me. All the blocks I had completely went away because I focused on it a little bit. My 3D pushed it out through my friend because she probably didn't have resistance. You guys, if you see birds before land, if you see signs from other people getting what you want or talking about what you want, that is your sign that it's coming. Because a lot of the times it comes through things or people that are least resistant, right? So I know a lot of you guys are like, I can't talk. A lot of you guys are focused on specific people, right? But then all these other people are coming through, complimenting you, telling you what you want to hear from your specific person. And everyone, like, trips out, like, oh my God, like, I have so many clients that are like, oh my God, Ani, like, other people are showing me, but I haven't heard it from my SP. Does that mean I have to settle? No. The reason you're getting it from other people is because you are least resistant to those people. Like, you have no really, like, stories or limiting beliefs with those other people, but when it comes to your SP, you have a story. That's why it takes a little longer for SP to conform rather than people you don't have resistance to, right? So how I see it is, I had a little bit of resistance, so I had to see it push out through my friend, which I had no resistance of another person winning, right? So now that I saw that, now those blocks are completely, like, gone, because now I see, like, totally possible because I saw it. And even if I didn't see it, I know that my thoughts create my reality. So what happened was I was focused on it and it did push out. It pushed out through someone else. But what does that mean? Now that I focus on it more, it must push out through me too. If I don't carry a negative story, if I don't carry opposing story, it's going to push out through me too. Same thing if you're manifesting specific people. So what happened with that client, that was a success story, that she showed me, like, her SPs literally showed, like, texting her all these beautiful messages, everything she once would affirm. What happened was, throughout the time of her working on herself and the way she sees that person to be, and the way she is in relation to that person, the more and more she worked on that story, that old story, and tried to clear out most of her limiting beliefs, the more this person would come through. And at sometimes he would come through, at sometimes there would be some time in between where she wouldn't see evidence, but she would keep going, she would keep persisting. So what happened? If you do not react to your middle, if you do not create an opposing story going forward, your new beautiful dominant story must play out. Okay? Also, I don't know if you guys do this now that, like, well, I don't know, maybe most of you are learning this brand new, this information, or maybe you guys have been watching me and you do notice a lot of things in your reality where you're like, okay, my thoughts created that, my thoughts created that, my thoughts created that. So whether you're new here or you have been watching us for a while, what I like to do, and I notice, and I've why can I not talk, you guys? I'm talking so, like, ugh, because my thoughts are going 1,000 miles per hour. You have probably noticed me saying this in my other videos, where you can tell a person's story and their thoughts by looking at their life, right? Someone's 3D projection is a very, very good indicator of the thoughts that they've been having, right? So you've probably noticed, like, you guys have probably, like, family members, like, or negative family members that always complain, or you probably know someone that always complains about money. They can never have enough money. It's never enough. They never, like, they don't know what to do. They're working so hard, but it's not working, right? And, like, it just never works out for them. Like, they've had the same story for, like, the last 10 years, right? Or you've probably seen someone that's really, really, like, optimistic about money or optimistic about their relationship, and they're always talking very highly about it. And you always see them working things out. You almost view that person as lucky. You're like, wow, like, everything just works out for them. So you can always see, like, their 3D matching their thoughts, right? I always do that. Like, it's right now, it's just like second nature for me to, like, view people's reality and see, like, okay, what their thoughts are. So the other day, so I went to school with a very, very famous actress. I don't want to name anyone, but, like, we went to kindergarten, we went to middle school, we went to high school, and, like, she always wanted to be an actress, and now she is, like, she plays in Euphoria. And I started thinking to myself, like, she totally manifested that, because since we were kids, she would always talk about it. And I remember her mom, like, taking her to, like, agencies and stuff like that. What happened? Okay. So I started thinking, like, about people acting and law of assumption, right? And a lot of actors have to get in the role. They really have to think from the end of that role, of the script, right? Like, let's say it's like a negative role, right? Like, to really play a realistic part like that, I've heard a lot of interviews with, like, different actors, and they explain how they get into the role. They really, like, bring up, like, past emotions and traumas, and they really, like, get into that zone, and they really live in the end of that. And I was thinking the other day, I was like, now knowing law of assumption, that kind of sucks, because most of the time you've probably seen like actors play a negative role and then their life kind of turns out that way too, right? If you have like, I mean, I don't want to make this negative, but like I'm just trying to get you to start viewing your life and reality like that too. Like you start to notice that thoughts are creating reality. Thoughts are creating the experiences going forward and what the future is to come, right? The more you focus on something. And it's so interesting because like how I mention it in all my videos, your subconscious doesn't care if you're just playing a role in a movie and it's pretend, you're just acting, or if you're really like going through it. Your subconscious mind doesn't care. It will continue to push out and maximize more and more of what it is you're thinking about. Okay. So as I was thinking about all this stuff, the other day, I heard news, and you guys probably did too, where a very famous actress's son like committed suicide. And when I saw that, I couldn't help but think like, if we create our reality, right? Like, what was her thoughts? You know, what was her thoughts? Like, how could she have possibly created that? So I asked myself that question and I just let it go. 2 days after I asked myself that question, an interview pops up. And they're on the red carpet. This actress is talking about her movie role and her son at the time. Like the interview was weeks and weeks before the news got out, right? So her son is there. She's talking about her role. And the interviewer, the reporter, is like asking her, like, so what took you so long to like do this role? Like, what took you so long to like accept this role finally and play it out in the movie? Because he's like, I know it's been a while now that you've had the offer on the table, whatever. And then she was like, well, she goes, in this movie, I had to play a mother losing a child. And she's like, I didn't know if I wanted to play that role or not, because that's hard on me to even like conjure thoughts like that up. And she's like, I really had to focus on it. And I really thought about it for a very long time if I want to take that type of role on. And then she continues to say, but I did it. And it was successful. The movie was successful. Now, this interview was before what happened, right? So weeks later on the news, it turns out like the role she played came true in her reality too. And now I thought about if I should share this with you guys or not. Maybe some of you have seen this and have like seen the interview prior to the news. I didn't want to share this because we always focus on success stories and we always focus on like, you know, the better parts of thoughts creating your reality. But I think realistically, like, this is important for you to understand. Like, and I want you guys to know that like all thoughts create, if you think of it enough dominantly, they push out. So this is why we stress so much to persist in your desired story. This is why we stress so much to repetitively think of your desired end goal, whether it's in money, whether it's in careers, whether it's in relationships, in love, in anything. This is why I stress so much to persist in your desired story, because a lot of people don't realize how they got into a situation in the first place. When you don't know that your thoughts create your reality, you don't understand why you weren't chosen in the relationship or why that person was treating you in a specific way, how everyone is you pushed out. You don't realize that. Like, we've all been there. I'm guilty of it too. Everyone starts off like everyone gets to a point where they're like, okay, let me research this stuff, you know? Like, we don't just all of a sudden, it doesn't just happen out of nowhere. Oh, you know what? I'm thinking one day I just sat there and thought my thoughts create. No, you come to this, right? So, like, it's very important for you to do the research, listen to, you know, people that have gone through success. Try it out for yourself, even with mini manifestations. I want you to build your faith and see with your own senses that like it's you can create. And I didn't even wanna I wasn't planning on sharing that, you guys, but I think it's very important. If you agree, like comment down below. Now, um, yeah, I don't want to get deeper into that topic, but I just want you guys to know that your thoughts create your reality. Okay. And on a better note, you can heal yourself with your thoughts. And this has been done thousands of years ago. Knowledge like this has been out there that your thoughts can heal. The words you say can heal. You can help people heal by viewing them as healed, by affirming they are healed. You can bring in more abundance into your life. You can bring more forgiveness. You can bring in more communication. You can bring in more love onto this planet, more peace onto this planet by just focusing on it. And I know those of you that are new, this might sound very like wishful thinking. The best thing I could suggest for you is practice. Try it out for yourself. Now, if you're anything like me, like I always have to try out stuff for myself. I always have to see stuff for myself. I'm the type of person, like, you can tell me, like, you can convince me, you can try to convince me, you can try to tell me everything, but like until I don't do it on my own and see it for myself, I'm stubborn like that. I intend I'm not. But if you're anything like me, that's why I'm saying, like, try it out for yourself. And the more you do it, the more evidence you'll see. And the more you'll be like, okay, I get this. Like, you kind of get like, this is like your purpose, like to create your desired reality. Everything is a projection, you guys. Everything is a projection. It's like the movie, you know how like the screen, when you go to theater, the screen projects from that little film up top in the back. Like, what film are you putting into it? What film are you putting into here so it could project right onto the screen of your 3D reality? We choose films to put in all the time, every second. We choose a film of a parallel reality where everything's working out in our favor, and then we kind of get doubtful, and then we switch the film to, no, we're still in the same place, same stuff, same stagnant energy, nothing's moving, right? We're constantly flipping the film to what, either towards what you desire or towards what you don't desire. So you want to stay dominantly towards what you desire. Okay, remember, I don't know if you guys remember that video I made, but I made a video of, imagine this, you're walking into a movie theater and there's an auditorium, there's a movie theater on your left and one on the right. One is playing a horror story, like a thriller that doesn't have a very happy ending, and one is like a beautiful romantic comedy where everyone gets what they want at the end, right? You're standing in the middle of those two doors at all times, and you always have the choice. Do I want to grab my drink and popcorn and go to this thriller where I don't think I'm going to feel so great at the end of it? Or do I want to grab my popcorn and drink and go to that movie where I'm probably going to laugh through it, I'm going to feel good afterwards, I'm going to tell my friends to go watch it? Which one do I want to do? Because You have all the power and the choice to choose. You create your reality. No one's going to be standing there and saying, no, you can't go to this one. You got to go to this one. No one's doing that except you, except your doubts and fears. You're the one that has the choice at all times, and you're the only one with free will. And this sounds crazy to people that do not understand everyone as you pushed out, but everyone acts accordingly to your assumptions about them and your assumptions about yourself. How you feel about yourself, people will project that onto you. People will project that back onto you. How you feel about your specific person will project it back onto you. Your reality will create experiences where that person keeps projecting that back onto you. So until you figure out that you got to change your story. Okay. I was always like in a position of like not chosen, not prioritized. And then until one day SP told me, well, I knew this before he said it, but this was like the real like cherry on top. One time SP said, until you do not change how you see me, I'm not going to change. And I was like, what? Have you been reading Neville? He's like, no, I don't have time to read that. He's like, but I'm serious. Until you do not change your assumption of me, I'm not going to change. And at that moment, I was like, everyone's you pushed out. That right there. Everyone's you pushed out. Because this person is not into the knowledge and stuff I'm talking about right now. They don't really know. They don't really know I'm manifesting them. But, and I was like, you know what? Yep, gotta change the story. And just so many success stories, you guys. So many success stories. If you want to check them out, go on my playlist under Ani and check out all those success stories. A lot of them, I share a lot from my life too. I share a lot from like jackpot wins, SP, random family stuff. Like I share everything. But yeah. Was this video helpful, you guys? I know all the videos are helpful because I see your beautiful, beautiful comments, but I intend this video is helpful. And I intend you are more conscious and aware of your thoughts create your reality, and your assumptions create your reality. Your beliefs create your reality. And you do not have to feel or believe what you want to be real right now. 99.9% of my success and 99.9% of my clients' success stories, everyone had a hard time believing and feeling it real. I'm going to be real with you guys. Like, if anyone tells you you need to feel it or you must believe it, no. Are you really needing and feeling it when someone buys you a free drink at Starbucks? Are you standing there and really like feeling the feelings and believing it, and you're like, yes, right now someone's going to buy me a free drink? No, it's just a thought. And because you don't have limiting beliefs, your subconscious mind takes it in quick. So everything is happening at this very moment. The reason you desire things is because those realities exist right now. You just have to shift your focus from the negative story, from the old dominant story of why you can't have it. I'm sure you've created reasons on why you can't be with your SP. I did. I had a bunch of stories in my mind, and my clients too. But the more you go through that story and the more you filter it out, like, okay, this is totally like, this doesn't make sense. Like, I'm limitless. I can totally have whatever I want. Like, why do I keep including this negative aspect into my story? Like, I don't have to, right? Because we are all limitless. All right, guys, I hope this video was helpful. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for all the beautiful, beautiful comments. If you guys are interested in one-on-one coaching with me or any of my courses, links are going to be in the description box down below. I am pretty booked up, so a lot of my clients, while they're waiting to get a one-on-one session with me, they're trying out my courses and they're getting success even before they tell me, you know, what's going on within them. They're getting courses. They're getting success with the courses. So if you guys are interested, links are going to be in the description box down below. Do not worry about date and time when you buy a course. You get immediate access to the course. So don't worry about date and time. We do have a contest going for free coaching. So if you would like to win free coaching, like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to our channel. I will see you in the next video, you guys.